Good morning everybody and welcome to another Sunday Club at Home. I hope you've had a good first week back at school. This week we're going to begin by playing a matching game. So I have some pictures here of some animals, got quite a few down here, and we need to match the animal with what their baby would be called. Okay, let's give it a go. Okay, so here we are and we've got the pictures of all the mummy animals over here and their names of the babies on the table here. Okie dokie, so let's pick first of all maybe one that you hopefully will know. Here is a sheep, that's right, so here's a mummy sheep, and what will that mummy sheep baby be called? So, let's have a little look. So, is she a hatchling? No. Or maybe a porcupet? I like that word, but no, I think that's right. Over here, there's a cub and a lamb. And I think you're right. A mummy sheep would have a baby lamb. There we go. So we'll pop those there. Okay, so what's next? What's next? Oh, what about this picture? So this picture is of pigs. And what's a baby pig called? So here's the mummy pig. So what's her baby called? Oh, let's have a look. It could begin with a P. So let's have a look at the P words. There's a pup, a porcupet, or a piglet. That's right, it's a piglet. A mummy pig has a baby and they're called piglets. Next, oh look at this, here's a grizzly bear. I wonder what the grizzly bear's name of their baby is. A mummy grizzly bear, does she have a baby tadpole? No. Or a maggot? Maybe her baby's called a hatchling or a cub. What do you think? That's right, it's the cub. So the mummy bear has a baby cub. So next, let's have a little look. Oh, what about this one? This is a frog. What is a baby frog called? I think some of you might have done the life cycle of a frog at school, so you might be able to tell me really quickly what a baby frog is called. So if we have a look, maybe we choose from these two here. Is it a cygnet? No. Or a tadpole? That's right, it's a tadpole. A baby frog is called a tadpole. There we go, go with your mummy, tadpole. Okay. So, next one, fish. This one looks like a bit like Nemo, but this is a mummy fish, so it's a girl Nemo. And what is a baby fish called? So what if we have a look at these three names here? So is a baby fish called a joey, a maggot, or fry? What do you think? That's right, a baby fish called fry. So next, what animal have we got next? Oh, here's a rat. So there's the mummy rat. And what do you think her baby rat might be called? So what about if we choose from these two down here? Baby rat, is it a hatchling or a pup? That's right, it's a pup. Okay. So what have we got now? Got a few names down here. I'll move all the names down here and then I've got room to put my pictures on. So next, what about this animal? This very jumpy animal. Do you know what this one's called? That's right, it's called a kangaroo. And a kangaroo has a baby. Oh, and there is a picture of the baby kangaroo there. Look in its pouch. I don't know if you can see that. But what's that baby called? Do you think it's called a leveret? Or a maggot maybe? Or a joey? Which one of those three do we think? Yeah, well done, it's a Joey. There we go. It's a Joey. There we go, Mummy Kangaroo. That's, your baby's called a Joey. Okay, so I've got 5 pictures left and 5 names. That's lucky. So, okay, so let's have a look. This one. Now, this picture is a hare. Looks a little bit like a rabbit, doesn't it? But they're a lot bigger than rabbits. And they've got very long legs. So here's the hare and big ears. What's Mummy Hare? What's her baby called? That's right. It's a leveret. A leveret. That's a tricky one, that one, isn't it? A Mummy Hare and her baby's called a leveret. And we've got next. Oh, what's this called? Could be one of two, couldn't it? Unless you're really good at your animals. But actually this one's an alligator. So, but you could have said crocodile because they do look quite similar, but one's got a pointy nose and one's got a flat nose, I do believe. But this one is an alligator. And what's an alligator's baby called? So here's the mummy alligator, and what's her baby called? Is it a maggot, a cygnet, a porcupet, or a hatchling? That's right, it's a hatchling. So there we go, that baby alligators and baby crocodiles, interestingly, are both called hatchlings. So we've got 3 pictures left and 3 names left. There we go, so we've got a fly, a porcupine and a swan. And we've got a maggot, a porcupet and a cygnet. So which one do we think goes with which? So here's the porcupine. It's got spines, look, it's got lots of spikes. So porcupine's baby, could it be a cygnet, a maggot or a porcupet? That's right, it's a porcupet. I didn't actually know that before I started looking at this game, but I think that's quite sweet. There's a mummy porcupine and her baby is called a porcupet. So we've got 2 left. We've got the swan and we've got the fly, and we've got 2 names left, the cygnet and the maggot. Any ideas? Have a guess which one goes with which? And that's right, the swan baby is called a cygnet. So mummy swan will have a cygnet as her baby. And the mummy fly's baby is called a maggot. You might have seen maggots if you ever go fishing. Okay. So hopefully the game we've just played of the mummies and the babies, here's the frog and the tadpole again, might have given you a clue as to why this is a special Sunday. Okay, so lots of mummies. Have a think. That's right, it's Mothering Sunday, or perhaps more commonly known as Mother's Day. So in today's reading, we're going to hear about 2 mums, reading from the Bible, and see if you can hear about them in the story. So there's a bit of background that you probably need to know before I start reading the Bible, and that is that Pharaoh in Egypt had just given an order for all the baby boys who were born to Hebrew women that they should be thrown in the Nile and drowned. And this is where our reading begins. It's in Exodus. So Exodus is at the beginning, near the beginning of our Bible. It's not Genesis, so it's not the first book, but it's the second book. So it's Exodus and it's chapter 2, so big number 2. And we're going to read from verse 1 down to verse 10. Now a man from the house of Levi married a Levite woman, and she became pregnant and gave birth to a son. When she saw that he was a fine child, she hid him for 3 months. But when she could hide him no longer, she got a papyrus basket for him and coated it with tar and pitch. Then she placed the child in it and put it among the reeds along the bank of the Nile. His sister stood at a distance to see what would happen to him. Then Pharaoh's daughter went down to the Nile to bathe, and her attendants were walking along the riverbank. She saw the basket among the reeds and sent her female slave to get it. She opened it and saw the baby. He was crying, and she felt sorry for him. "This is one of the Hebrew babies," she said. Then his sister asked Pharaoh's daughter, "Shall I go and get one of the Hebrew women to nurse the baby for you?" "Yes, go," she answered. And the girl went and got the baby's mother. Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Take this baby and nurse him for me, and I will pay you." So the woman took the baby and nursed him. When the child grew older, she took him to Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. She named him Moses, saying, "I drew him out of the water." Did you spot the two mums? So we've got the Levite Hebrew mum, who chose to disobey Pharaoh and not throw her son Moses into the Nile to drown. She chose to risk her own life by hiding him for 3 months. Imagine how tricky that was. I don't know many babies that would be very easy to hide. In my experience, they tend to be a bit noisy. What love that mum must have had to take that risk. And then the second mum to think about is Pharaoh's daughter. She knew the baby was a Hebrew, and yet she chose to save him, to raise him as her own, again taking a massive risk. Moses was a very fortunate young man. So today, on Mothering Sunday, we've been thinking about Moses' mums, but actually I think it's really important to remember and look at who was in control in this reading. Do you know who it was? Well, I think this reading points to our God being in control. God is the same God that Moses' Hebrew mum worshipped and trusted to protect him. God's plan was eventually for Moses to leave the awesome life he had as a prince and do great things. You can read the Bible to find out more of what happened, but believe me, the plan God had for Moses was amazing. Baby Moses was always in God's care. When the Egyptian Pharaoh sought to kill the Israelite baby boys, God had a very special plan for Moses. Okay, so the craft this week will hopefully remind you that God is in control and will take care of you, just as he did with Moses when he was a helpless baby. To help us remember this for the craft, I've used part of a verse from a psalm, Psalm 32:7. "Father God, you are my hiding place." Hopefully this will remind us when things get tricky, God can be there and will be there to protect us with his plan. So for the craft, you're going to need the template. So here's a template. This is actually what we're going to make, hopefully, all being well. But we'll need this template. So that's on the website. So if you can print off this template, and then some colouring pens, whatever colours you like and whatever type of pen. So you can use crayons or pencil crayons or felt tips or whatever you like. And also some scissors. So depending on how good you are at cutting might depend on whether you might need a grown-up to help you with the tricky bits. So you might be able to do the straight lines, and then the grown-up might just have to help you with the bit of the tricky bits here, because these bits here are part of the craft too. So you need to cut along the solid black lines around everything, and make sure you save these 2 bits. Those 2 bits aren't rubbish. Okie dokie. Right. So hopefully you've just seen me cut out at super speed these crafts. So we should have a tall bit in the middle, and then a baby Moses in a basket, and the printed verse. There we go. So I'm going to put those 2 to one side at the moment. What I did forget to tell you is when I told you what you'd need, I actually forgot to tell you also need a glue stick. So I'm really sorry, you also will need a glue stick for those two bits. So, but first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to fold the littler side. So there's a side lower than the other, if you notice. So we're going to fold the littler side down, and we're going to make it line up with the bottom, because then that makes it nice and neat, and it will also mean it will stand up, all being well. And then open it up again. And then we're going to fold the biggest side down, and again line it up with the bottom, so hopefully it will stand up nice and tall. And there we go. So when it's finished, the big side, the tall side, will fold in first, and then the little side will fold on top, so it makes sort of layers. So on this one you can see I made some layers. Okay, so sort of 2 layers. So now what we're going to do is we're going to decorate and draw in the reeds and the bulrushes. So to do this, what I think we might need is some green. So I've got quite a few different coloured greens in here. So I'll just get all these out. I've also got a glittery green, which is quite exciting. Quite like using glittery pens. So I'm going to find all the greens I've got in here. And I'm going to first of all choose one of the greens to be the stalk of the bulrush. So I'm going to use this green, and I'm going to use the same colour green to do that. So I'm going to do some bulrushes like this, and maybe a few different heights across in all the bits. There we go. So there's a few bulrushes, and on the top of the bulrushes I need a brown. So here's a good brown, and I just need to do like an oval shape like this, and then that makes a bulrush like that. Okay. You don't have to do this, you can decorate it however you want. So if you want yours to just be lots of different coloured greens, that's absolutely fine. You just decorate whatever you feel like. So there's a few bulrushes. I'm going to do the rest in a little while, because there's just one other thing that I think looks quite good if you do it. So on these, can you see I've done just some little circles underneath to show that these are sitting in the water. So there we go. And again, I'll finish those off a little bit later on. I'm just going to show you on this side as well how to carry on. So we might need to do some different coloured grasses, and you can use the glitter pen as well here. I don't know if you've got any, but I've got a nice glitter pen here, so I'm going to use it because it makes, I don't know if you can see the sparkle on the camera, but it is a little bit sparkly. So I don't know if you see that in the light. So but I say you can use anything. You can even use paint if you like. Then different colour here, and it can be quite random. So there we go. So, and I'm going to do that now all the way across there, and I'm also going to do it on the 2 front bits here. Okay, so but I'm going to speed that up because otherwise you'll be waiting forever. Okay, so I've speedily coloured in this bit. And what I'm going to do now is just at the very bottom, I'm just going to make it so that it looks like maybe a little bit of grass. So just colouring it in a little bit, just to make it a bit like grass at the very bottom. And then for the next bit, so this is water here. So I don't know how you want to show your water, or how you think the best way to show water is. I'm sure you've got some maybe better ideas than me. I'm just going to do some little wavy bits just to show that this is water down here like this. Okay, I've also, because it's not dried, I've also splodged a little bit of my pen obviously you can wait for yours to dry a little bit before you fold it over. There we go. So now what we need are these little bits here that we've cut out. So here's Moses, as I said, and so we need some glue, and we need to put some glue on the back of Moses, and then we're going to stick him as he was hidden in the reeds and the bulrushes by his mum. So there we go. So there's Moses, and we can hide him because we can fold these over like this and you can't see him. There he is. Okay. You also might want to make this look like a basket, and again you might have some really good ideas of how to make it look like a basket, but I'm just going to do some little lines on it like this just to make it look a little bit like a basket. And then one of my favourite colours is purple, so I'm going to use purple to just make Moses have a blanket. There we go. So I'm not quite sure what Moses's mum would have had around to wrap him in, but I like the colour purple, so I'm just going to put some purple in my picture. You can maybe choose your favourite colour. And then finally I'm going to use a thinner pen to do an eye and an eyebrow and maybe just some lips with a red pen. So there we go. So there's Moses. And then the last bit of sticking is this bit, and here's the verse. Obviously put the glue on the bit that's not drawn on or written on the back. So put your glue on there, and then you can stick it on, and it really doesn't matter where you stick it. You can stick it wherever you like. So you could stick it right at the top if you like. So, but I'm going to pop mine in the middle here. Okay, there we go. Because if you had a look at what I did on this one, I drew like a sunshine. So, and then clouds and sky. So you can do, again, you can do whatever you like in this bit here. If you want to do your own decoration and maybe not even make it look like sky, that's absolutely fine. Just you choose what you want to do to decorate this bit. So there we go. So that's the finished article, and as I said before, just with a reminder of a verse from a psalm: Father God, you are my hiding place. And we can hide Moses. So and they do stand up. There we are. So as our worship this week, I thought we could try and remember this verse using some actions. So I'll put it that way around. Oh, I don't think actually you can see it. I maybe stand it up. That might be better. Okay, hopefully you can see it now. So we're going to say, you, meaning God, are my hiding place. So we're going to hide our face. And then for Psalm, we'll put our hands together. Psalm 32, verse 7. Okay. So you are my hiding place. Psalm 32, verse 7. Brilliant. Should we try and do it without the piece of paper in front of us? Okay, so let's think. The first thing we do, point to the sky. You are my hiding place. Psalm 32, verse 7. Brilliant. Keep practicing that and see if you can remember tomorrow after you've had a sleep as well. I've really enjoyed doing another video, and I'm hoping to see you all soon. It'd be great to see if you do the craft, if you can get your grown-up to take a photo of it and send it to St John's Youth so I can have a look. That would be fab. And I'll hopefully get to see you soon. Take care. Bye.